So we're back here on the Couch Coach Live. In a new somewhat of a spot. We kind of rearranged everything, to make it a little bit centric. You can check out our, we're trying to do some things here on Couch Coach Live. We're trying to, get new merch. We're just trying to do a lot of things, a little different here, here on LegacyInternetRadio.com. We, of course, we're a part of the Legacy Media Group. So we are here. Shout out to our guy, Carlton, checking us out. Carlton. And once again, Carlton, you can come in and he can come to the show anytime. This Eagles guy, hopefully he'll be around, when you come, whatever week you come. Because, we gotta set the record straight of who runs the NFC East.
Carlton will probably be here when Kirk Cousins gets a 5-year extension.
Stop it. Don't do that. Don't.
I'm sorry, Kirk coupons.
Come on, man. Look, he wants a discount. It is what it is. So we're back here on Couch Coach Live. We do a top 5 list now. I think this is one of the genius of the shows now at this point, that we do a top 5 list weekly. So of course, this week's top 5 segment, we're gonna talk about our top 5 athletes that we hate. And of course, Ellie, I want you to go first as far as the athletes that you hate. And give us a little, description of who you hate.
Steph Curry. Can I put LeVar Ball? No, I'll save him for later. Yeah. It'd be Steph Curry, KD. At the time, I couldn't stand Paul Pierce, Richard Sherman, and anybody that plays for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm talking about down to the guy who screws in the cleats, the guy who washes the bathrooms in the stadium. If you are part of that franchise, I despise you.
Interesting. Yeah. And the other, as far as, I'm going to go because I have it in order.
Okay.
Number 5, I'm going to agree with you, of course, Dez Bryant. The sole reason why I hate Dez Bryant is because he's a cowboy. He's a guy that I want to say he whines.
Yeah.
He whines, and it's just one of those things where I think Dez Bryant is just a guy that I despise. I mean, he's a Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah. And he can't run routes.
Right. Number 4, Ronda Rousey.
Okay.
Because and this is the whole thing about how she built up this hype machine. We got to a point where she wanted the greatest athletes of our era. At one time, they were saying that.
To me, I don't think that was necessarily her. That was more Dana White.
True. But I'm saying, but she had, she
drove the parade. Yes, she did.
Right. That's my thing. There's a certain thing right. She made it as if she was that, because at one point she was saying that she could beat Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. And I'm like, no, you're not going to beat the best boxer, one of the most defensive boxers.
The best counterpuncher we have ever seen. No disrespect to Muhammad Ali, but Floyd Mayweather is the best counterpuncher ever. Yeah.
And one of the best defensive fighters that we've ever had. So, of course, when you land those pretty much weak punches,
enough of them gonna hurt.
And enough, and he's not even gonna get, nothing on him. So then that was, like you said, I think it was most of the hype machine, because she really got an early buzz. And like you said, she drove the bus to the point where she thought she was gonna be this monolithic type of person, and it rubbed me the wrong way.
Till Misha Tate and Holly Holm got her.
Yeah. My number 3 athlete I hate the most is Draymond Green.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about Draymond is I like Draymond at Michigan State. Michigan State, he was one of those guys I really rooted for, because I always like, man, he's a big dude. He's
a little big dude.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was chunky at Michigan State.
But then the Sweet 16 game, he got the arguing on the court with Adrian Payne.
Yeah, Adrian Payne. Yeah. And it got to a point where certain things, he have said, because now I think he's like the NBA's biggest mouthpiece.
Yeah.
And certain things that he say irritates me, like the whole Charles Barkley thing. How he trying to, pretty much trying to discount this. Well, he's actually said a lot of things on Charles, and one thing I really didn't like. What he said was one time because they asked him, he said that he wasn't qualified to talk about a championship athlete because he's never won an NBA championship. Yeah. And I'm like, you talking about a guy that's pretty much like you, an undersized type of guy. Like, if it wasn't for him, I honestly don't think there would be a market for you. So to me, it's almost like you're biting the hand that feeds you. That's what made me so angry because I'm almost to a point where it's like, well, in this case, can Eddie Curry give you advice? Yeah. Because he's won an NBA champion. Can like Stephen A. Smith said, can slap it all map, but thank God. Yeah. Win a ring. I mean, can he give you advice?
Will Purdue got 5 rings.
Right. It's a lot of guys who have rings. A lot of guys who have NBA rings, and my thing is, and then even these comments about how they say they compare him to Charles Barkley, and he's like, well, I never. And it's one of those things where it's like, you just take it. You just take the compliment, say, that's a very flattering for you to consider me, to me in the same mode as a top 50 player of all time. Yeah. But I think my game is a little bit different than Charles. Yeah. But you don't have to pop off and say, well, he wasn't my role model because he said, don't be a role model.
But I think a lot of these guys, they're too defensive about, especially like, they can't just take the compliment. They just have to elaborate more and put themselves higher on the pedestal than what they should be. Because, like, for Draymond Green, like this man, Charles Barkley, is 25,000 points, 10,000 rebounds. For somebody to say that you're a perfect, that's like if somebody was to go up to LeBron and say, hey, you know what? Your game reminds me a lot of Michael Jordan. LeBron is not going to downplay that. He's not going to discredit anything. You look at that as one of the ultimate accomplishments. So if somebody would say, Draymond, your game reminds me of Will Chamberlain, what's he going to do then?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have 25,000 women. Something like that, he'll try to, like you said, and like you said, this new age, that's why I can't wait till they become 40, 50 years old and they have to critique modern players and see how that feels. So, number 2, I got to go with Tom Brady. Because of the whole Deflategate. And that's another guy I loved in college because he was the underdog. He was one of the guys I really rooted because at that time I hated Drew Henson and I hated Brian Greasy. I didn't like them. Because I always thought Brian Greasy was entitled. And Drew Henson, you're right. And Drew Henson, in my personal opinion, was just this hype machine that I just, even as a kid, I'm like, why are they hyping Drew Henson as if like he's like the greatest thing sliced bread? And then I see a kid from San Mateo, California, and Tom Brady, number 10, an awkward looking one. And I'm like, man, I was really hoping he would, could, be that way. And I remember when they drafted him, and I was like, man, I think Tom Brady gonna be okay. I can tell you this, I didn't think that he was going to be who he is now. I said at that time he'd be a solid player if needed. I didn't think he was going to send it this way. And the whole thing about the Deflategate is the thing that really gets me kind of mad about the situation because it's like that situation could have been handled a different way. Because if you're facing an investigation, you just don't throw away your cell phone and you don't, and you don't have all the type of communication with other equipment managers and this, that, and the third. And,
but a lot of the scandal isn't on Tom Brady. It's more Belichick than anything because somebody has to have the final say-so on that. Like, during halftime, I don't know, but I don't think that the players have had that much interaction with somebody on that part of the staff as say the coaches would. But
don't you find that fishy that once he was going to give up, the information about Deflategate, that he destroyed the cell phone?
So first of all, I think someone told him to do that. I don't think he just went ahead and just.
But I'm saying, okay. So and I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna give you the same type of scenario. Okay. So if you had something.
First of all, I watched a lot of First 48, so I already know how to play this game.
Look, and unfortunately, I can't feed you a gourmet meal or to a point to keep, to make you, say what you have. But if you're in a situation like with him, where you had, there was incriminating evidence against you, and someone told you, well, throw away your phone. Like you said, I don't know, it could be a situation, like you said, and I'm wondering who the type of person, who you think, would you think is more so of like a law enforcement or more so of just somebody who's like an advisor to him?
Well, I think it's going to be somebody under both, because I guarantee you he reached out to Robert Kraft in order to how to handle the situation, or somebody who is close within Robert Kraft's circle. Because, first of all, the whole thing was he wasn't being tried in a court of law. He wasn't under investigation by the police. So, the situation, okay, he broke his cell phone. What can you really do? What can the NFL really do because I broke your piece of evidence? Roger Goodell destroyed the evidence for Spygate. So now what?
Yeah. And then I just think this whole thing of and I like how the whole arrogance of Tom Brady in the sense now. Like I remember, and this goes back to the 2000. It was the 2007 season, but it was the Super Bowl 2008. How Plaxico said that the Patriots only would score 17 points. And he laughed at, oh, we're going to score 17 points, and it ended up being true. Shout out to Plaxico. But anyway,
they scored 14.
17.
Yeah, okay.
They scored 17. Yeah. But it was just one of those things. Well, no, I think they might have scored
17. The score was 17-14.
14, yeah. So they only scored 14. But and that's what my biggest issue with Tom Brady. It's similar like the Draymond. I liked them in college. They were like the underdog type of guys who I really rooted for, at that time. And of course, my number one hated athlete, it's got to be LeBron James. But it's for different reasons. I think it's just more.
You do know Carlton's watching, right?
Yeah, I know definitely watch, and there's an explanation. And most people will understand my vitriol in the sense towards LeBron James. And I think ultimately the biggest I got put here, the biggest thing I think it is accomplishment. And it's one of those things where it's weird. And as a Bulls fan, and I remember how, in a sense, we tormented Cleveland. This is one of the things where it's common. It's almost like if you do a woman wrong or do anybody wrong, and then you see them extend from a level. Mm-hmm. This is how it is. I feel like I'm at a point. I'm Craig, and he's Michael Jordan. And that's how I feel. Where it's like, and it's not more so of hate. It's more of a competitive hate, because at the end of the day, I will agree and I will attest that. And I say this all the time. What LeBron James has done in his whole totality, I mean, not even in the NBA, but from jump is nothing short of amazing. Because we got to think about it. He essentially is a child. It's almost like a child athlete. I mean, he's a child. He was, because when I first heard about LeBron James, he was a sophomore in high school, and that was in like 2000. So you got to think about it. He's been on some type of a pedestal. He's been on this ride for almost 20 years. And for him, not only to, because even I think when I first seen him play his senior year, and I was saying, this guy can do everything. Yeah. And I even remember when Jordan was saying, I don't think this guy's going to be able to compete he said he's going to be able to compete, more so I want to see how he compete with against NBA guys versus going against guys who were like 5'7", 5'8". And, that even some of the guys he was playing against were 6 feet tall. Yeah. So, and that was one thing too, and then the whole situation with him getting a Hummer on his 18th birthday and getting the free jerseys and all that type of stuff, and it's just amazing how
he didn't get the Hummer. Gloria got him the Hummer. Listen, I've seen it. Like I had to put my hatred away.
I know. Like you said, but who drove the bus? Who drove the Hummer? I know, but I'm saying, but when you think about it, I'm not. This is follow me.
Yeah, all right.
But even. I don't care who bought it for him. You got to think about it. Think about you 18 years old and you driving a Hummer to school. The type of level you would get as far as in your head, like as far as not entitlement, but more so of like your this big headedness, and to a point where could you still focus?
Probably not.
Right.
And but I think he was grounded because of where he came from. The levels of which he came from having to live with different teammates, growing up. just to make sure that he could get to school on time and stay in the same district or whatnot. I mean, I think it's always going to be a coin flip when dealing with athletes like that because you got something that
never know. And I think, like you said, and that's what I think why Matt is competitive. Personally, I honestly think what he has done is nothing short of amazing. Somebody told me this same guy. Remember, this guy was on the same cover as Sebastian Telfair. Yeah. And Sebastian Telfair is on an NBA milk carton for the last 5 years, what have you. And for me, you gotta really think back, like, could you ever? Let's go back to the day in 2001. Somebody told me that this guy at 32 years old is playing his best basketball ever at this point in his career, and for him to be an ambassador of the league and to have won an NBA championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers, you can't make that up, and that's what makes the hate isn't personal. Yeah. The hate is just because I'm a Bulls fan. I'm Craig Elo. He's hitting the shot on me all the time. Yeah. Seeing the Cleveland Cavaliers win an NBA championship really hurt my soul. But
I also think that him winning in Cleveland was long overdue. Yeah. When Dan Gilbert, when they first started building a team to be competitive, they had the opportunity to trade for Amari Stoudemire in the 2004-2005 season, I want to say. And the hold-up piece was J.J. Hickson.
Yeah.
So you block the opportunity to build on your team and make your superstar athlete happy because you don't want to part with J.J. Hickson. It probably was later than that, I have to say.
No, it was 2009.
Okay.
It was that year. It was 2009. It was the year before he left.
Yeah. So it's just like they just kept bargain shopping it for him. Like you have the essentially the face of the league on your team, and you putting a 37-year-old Shaq on his team. Yeah. You know, you getting Antoine Jameson. You trading for Ben Wallace. You're doing bottom feeding, trying to take championship caliber players and thrust them in the starting lineup to say, okay, all right, LeBron, we got you some help. Like, no, you can't do that. That's not going to make him win.
Right. And that's my thing too. And another thing, and that's another reason to, in a sense, to like LeBron, not to like LeBron, and more so just understand in totality what he has gone through. And thank God that no one still talking about a decision. Because I used to defend him with that because at the end of the day, call it how you see it, we all seen it. You know, and it was one of those things where it was must-see TV. And I'm not going, and I can't knock what he did because I look even from a psychosis type of perspective, he looked extremely nervous. And you got to think about a guy at 24 years old making that type of decision. It's something I know he regrets. Yeah, but
I would say the nervousness probably came because that was like the first time he ever got to choose where he was going.
Yeah.
Any other time, high school, you go to school in your neighborhood. Yeah. He decided to go pro. He didn't get a choice as who was going to pick him. Yeah. So I mean that's why that nervous. But at the end of the day, he was a free agent, and you can't hate on him or do anything for that decision that he made being a free agent.
Right. And ultimately, it helped Cleveland, because when you got him back, you got a guy who knows what it takes to win a championship.
And then also, you look at all the pieces that were left behind. So you had the Anthony Bennett, you had the Andrew Wiggins, you had Kyrie, all on one team. Then you had Tristan Thompson, and then LeBron walks right back into a good situation. So I mean, it wasn't like it was rare. He sacrificed for the sake of his own. For
the good of the Cavs.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where I think, like you said, ultimately, and that's why and it's funny that we turned this top 5 hate list to pretty much a damn near love fest. Unfortunately. But it's just, it's just one of those things where, like I said, it's basically accomplishment, and it's my own karma that is, wreaking our.
Just put any cowboy in the top spot list, and we can bounce out this list.
But at this point with them, I don't know who to hate quite yet. I'm more leaning towards Ezekiel Elliott now, because, and I think he's gonna get there because I'm tired of, and that's one thing I would say, because I kind of, we say athletes, but like you said, sometimes Cowboy fans can, they could be annoying. Yeah. And then this whole thing about the Ezekiel Elliott feed me thing, I'm like, this isn't new, guys. Yeah. Like, this is something. And it's
like I think I'm starting to hate Dak a little bit more just because, he tries to portray this good boy image. I didn't forget about the DUI you got in college. I didn't forget about you getting knocked out of Cancun because you didn't know what to say out your mouth. So you can save the good boy image for the beat writers and everybody else, but he picked up a piece of trash on the side.
Yeah, I know, and that was so weird. It's like, because you were the one that posted that story, and I'm like, what is it, like a slow news day?
Yeah.
Like, what was the point of that? But and of course, I've seen a couple of people list who have contributed to the thread as far as who was the top hated athletes. If you definitely want to chime in, give us a call here at 804-402-2893. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, Couch Coach Live on Facebook Live, excuse me. But yeah. You can give us your top 5, and I've heard guys they even talk about they hate Cam Newton. And I'm like, Cam Newton started like he was like a 5A, 5B for me. Yeah. Like I said, that's another guy who I really root for.
I don't root for him at all.
I mean, okay, just because he went to Auburn.
No, that ain't got nothing to do with it. Did you see the foolishness that he put on after these games?
Yeah,
looking like the Riddler.
Yeah, you can hate him for that.
And he probably started this whole male romper thing.
He did because I'm just like, and I thought that was like the most ridiculous thing.
The problem, and one reason why I have a disdain for Cam Newton is because in 2015 he was Newton. 2016 when Colin Kaepernick was under the gun, he turned into Carl Banks.
All eyes matter.
Yeah, so I didn't go with that.
And then also another two guys that came up on the list. Of course, people talk about Tom Brady, Cam Newton,
Dwight Howard
on the list.
It's not a Melo hate.
Which I'm like, you can't really hate Melo per se. I think with Melo,
I think people hate that he hasn't lived up to the potential because him and LeBron were supposed to have this Magic and Bird type of rivalry, in which they do, but it's to no fault of anybody's own. It's the teams they played on. How's it his fault?
Carmelo could have went to Chicago. He didn't went to Chicago.
He wanted to live.
What you mean? He can live.
And not Chicago.
Yes, you can. New York is like an hour away.
Man,
you fly. Brandon Marshall did for years. You want to win championships? This is my thing. That's one thing we had to realize from Carmelo. What do you really want? What do you want? He wanted the money.
No, he got sold a dream. Phil sold him a dream. And if you think anything otherwise, because that was basically making the most money, it's the biggest market. It will have all this cap space. And Phil couldn't even get guys to come in for a meeting.
I mean, you gotta think about it. But stop. No, Carmelo understands that he know nobody was coming to New York.
It was on Phil. Phil messed that up.
That's on him. Like, think about it. If he has relationships with people in the league, and like LeBron go to New York Knicks, and everybody want to play with him.
But they're gonna be on teammates.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen. We don't want to fast forward, but we know that's gonna ultimately happen.
It's just the sun, the moon, the stars playing. They're all having a line for Carmelo.
They going to.
He got to be in the perfect situation.
He was in the perfect situation in Chicago. Yes, he was.
No. Thibodeau hurts his players.
That's
why Luol Deng had spinal tap because of Tom Thibodeau.
Don't do that.
Derrick Rose knees hate Tom Thibodeau.
And Ben had to blame Zach Levine.
and who else? Joe Kim Noah hate Tom Thibodeau. All those injuries, those players just fell from grace.
That's age.
They know age. They ain't even 30 yet.
But I know one thing. He turned Jimmy to a star.
No, Jimmy being homeless in Houston is what turned Jimmy to a star.
Do you remember Jimmy at Marquette?
I do remember Jimmy Marquette.
Do you remember Jimmy the first year? No. I'm saying he has emerged.
That's Jimmy doing. Jimmy wanted to be rich.
Anyway, Jimmy Butler was like a smaller Draymond Green in college, where he was like supposed to be. He was like this elite defensive stopper in college. Trust me. Don't let.
It's the same way Russell Westbrook was in UCLA. It was a defensive stopper.
Yeah,
and Earl Flalo was the point guy.
Right. Crazy. Right. But it's just one of those things where, I honestly think in my heart of hearts that if Carmelo would have went to Chicago, it would have been a little different. I don't know if he would have. I don't know if they would have won championship.
Because Tom Thibodeau, his pace is too slow.
Mm-hmm.
And Melo got spoiled with George Karl. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But when you let Kenny Martin tell it, George Karl wasn't a good coach because he didn't want to make adjustments. And, you got those old school coaches that just so stubborn, stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
You got the Chip Kelly syndrome is what I call it. And because that year, 2010, when they went to the Western Conference Finals, that was their opportunity to win.
Yeah.
But things happened and they got knocked out by the Lakers.
Yeah. So what we can do, we take a brief time out. When we come back on Couch Coach Live, we'll discuss this LeVar Ball versus Christine Leahy situation that transpired on Wednesday on her. So we'll be right back. This is Couch Coach Live.